Armstrong High School for Northwest Suburban Conference girls basketball on CCX Sports. Tonight it is the Totino-Grace Eagles, rated number 8 in Class 3A, paying a visit here to the Falcons. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox, joined tonight by Patty Sorensen. And Patty, second meeting of the season for these teams, but both coaches telling us COVID had a big impact on that first game. Armstrong, it was their first game back after quarantining, and meanwhile Totino had just lost some players for that reason, so they don't really expect tonight's game to look a whole lot like that first one did.
No, I think they're both grateful that that first game is in the past, and now they've had some time to get their teams comfortable and moving a little, progressing on in the season, looking a little bit ahead to what's coming up next. So I think they're going to see a different game tonight.
Armstrong looking for more consistency. They've had a little bit of struggles of late playing against some good teams. Totino-Grace, they feel like they're kind of finding themselves a little bit more now. They've certainly had a strong year, and they are a team that in Class 3A does expect to be at least in the mix for trying to get to the state tournament.
Yes, Totino has. They've progressed along, looking at sections where they will fall, and actually how they progressed. I think coach is feeling good about the progress their team is starting to make.
Let's look at key players to watch for in tonight's contest. We have some pretty good ones on both teams, and one of those being for Grace, Hannah Herzig. But both players that we're going to talk about have recently reached 1,000 career points too, so exciting time for them.
Well, I think we get to watch two exciting players tonight. And Herzog for Totino, she's a great ball handler. She's a great floor leader, confident, aggressive. She can drive, she can shoot from outside, and coach likes the defense she plays too. So that's a nice player, total package.
And for Armstrong, they've got a veteran post player in Savannah McGowan. And good footwork. She's big. She averages 11 rebounds and about 18 points per game, and certainly is a player that is circled by the opposing teams every time they face Armstrong.
Definitely. You got to really watch. I mean, she's a good, solid post. When you go against a good, solid post, you got to be smart when you're defending them. She also can move from outside, and she's going to attack the bucket, but with her dominating the boards, and like you said, 1,000-point scorer or two, she can get the job done.
Should be an interesting one here tonight. It's the rematch here, second meeting of the season. Totino-Grace took the first one. Armstrong hoping to turn things around in meeting number 2. The Eagles and the Falcons up next here on CCX.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is now available on Roku and Apple TV. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You also have access to a large on-demand library, including daily newscasts and full sporting events. To find the app, go to the store and search CCX and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. Now available on Roku and Apple TV.
We are at Armstrong High School for Northwest Suburban Conference girls basketball, as Totino-Grace carrying a record of 14-6. They're 8-5 in conference play, and Armstrong in at 8-11. They have won 4 conference games. Jay Wilcox, Patty Sorensen with you here from Armstrong and Plymouth. Second meeting of the season between the Eagles and Falcons. As you get a look into that huddle there, Mary Dengerud, and there's Armstrong's Savannah McGowan as the Falcons being introduced to their crowd here. And talking with both teams, Patty, and they feel like maybe, hopefully, the health things are getting better for not only these 2 programs and schools, but probably some of their opponents too. I mean, obviously we're not going to say we're out of the woods or any of that kind of thing, but early January it was a concern. I think there were an awful lot of sick kids and teachers and coaches, and maybe getting a little bit better in that regard now, hopefully.
Well, yeah, I think so. It's been so up and down for so many teams this year. And then you even as talking with Coach last year, Degerud, that, they couldn't even go to playoffs because of, COVID and being quarantined. And he said, and that's tough. You work so hard, you get there, and you aren't able to do it. But hopefully this year things will continue to settle down and become a not as much of a factor.
Savannah McGowan, Hannah Herzig will jump it up here to start the contest. Herzig controlling the tip, and we are underway. Grace is in white. Herzig will send it to the corner here. Grace Babacek receiving that pass back. Leah Dengerud, and her pass deflected, and the Falcons able to come up with the steal. Back up top, open look there, but it wouldn't drop for Milena Dilly-Starks. Here's Dengerud with it on the baseline. 2 1,000-point scorers in the lineup for Grace, Dengerud and Herzig.
Well, yeah, and I think we have a total of 3 of them on the floor tonight, too. So we've got some shooters in here tonight.
Dengerud, how do you like that? Can we give her an assist for her own? She shot that one, the first one missed badly, but it was like she was in a shooting drill and went right to where it was going to wind up and ends up getting it to go on the second opportunity.
You'd like to see that happen. She probably felt it right as it was going off, too, and went, oop, not the right touch. Got to follow that up.
Yeah, they always say that a shooter knows where their miss is going to go better than anybody, and that time it proved correct for her. Falcons swing it around now. Alexa Parsons cut off and back out to Dilly-Starks, driving and kick. And that one way too strong. Herzig flashing into the middle, goes up against Dilly-Starks but missed it, and there's McGowan grabbing the rebound.
It's going to be interesting to see how they choose to guard McGowan, because she's a very physical presence in there. And like we said earlier, she'll shoot from outside and she'll attack, but she's going to control those boards, and be interesting to see how Totino answers with that.
Herzig, nice dish, but McGowan was there, so they didn't even attempt the shot as Caroline Schlafer seemed to be in good position, but saw the presence of McGowan and just passed it up. Slovacek had it knocked loose, scrambling, finally gets it back. Dengerud looking baseline, Schlafer swings it across. Slovacek on the run, but denied by Fisher. However, it went right to Schlafer, but McGowan wins the battle for the rebound. Bounce back over to the corner.
We're seeing them be really patient, try and set up and run a set, and that's one thing Coach Easley said. He said, we'll run with them, and if we have to attack, we will, but if we can get down and just set up and run some of our sets, and that's what we're going to do.
Dilly-Starks, a little floater in the lane off the feed from Fisher, no, and then we get a foul on McGowan. And those are the kind that you probably don't want McGowan picking up, as obviously she's going to be, looking to block some shots and grab some rebounds and all that. There in the middle, Antoine Easley, 17th season. And I was looking up that today, and I remember coming over to interview him right after he got hired, and I thought, gosh, it's amazing that it was that long ago.
I know, it's hard to believe it. It does fly.
And we'll get a traveling call there, as Ava Regal looked like she had made a pretty good pass there, but apparently shuffled him just before getting rid of it. So Carly Fisher working into the front court. Nice passing, but then the last one was a little too tall for McGowan. And the Eagles looking to push it back the other way. Herzig into the middle. She'll sweep through, but missed. And there's McGowan, yet another rebound. Averages 11 boards a game. Well on her way to that already with 3 early here. Fisher giving it up to Maddie Fondo. Tried to go to McGowan, but deflected away.
You saw what they wanted there, but she was actually shielded. The defender did a good job of getting in front of her and just wasn't able to connect on that.
Pass got away there, and see Mary Dengerud there standing for Grace, her second season, and I don't think I'm going on a limb to say a little bit of a sloppy start here. We've seen both teams looking a little bit slow to get going.
I agree. I think they're just both trying to get into their flow, and it hasn't been as controlled as they'd like to see it get. Both teams are getting some shots, but it's taking them a little while to get into their groove.
And we've seen passes like that last one just a little bit off target, and it's really been both ways so far here. So Fisher will bring it up court for the Falcons. They trail it 2-0. Played about 3.5 minutes here. Dilly-Starks driving, missing. McGowan, though, will get it back up and in. First basket for Armstrong.
she's dangerous inside there. She gets an offensive board, and she made a really controlled move, made a nice smooth move, kept the ball up, and was able to lay it off the glass.
Schlafer will shoot that one from the corner, and it is good for 3. So she knocks down the first 3 of the night, 5-2 Grace. And we'll get a foul call going against Ava Regal.
Eagles foul number 14, Ava Regal. That's Ava's first person.
Well, here's a good way to bring McGowan out away from the hoop, have somebody who can shoot like that.
Yeah, that's going to, I think she's used to that too. I think a lot of teams, that's part of their game plan, I would think, try and pull her away from the bucket a bit.
That one short, Schlafer grabbing the rebound, and Eagles pushing. Herzig, nice little hesitation dribble and lays it in. So 7-2 Eagles. Fisher cut off there. Fondo lobbing over the top, threads the needle right to McGowan and lays it in. That was nicely done. There was no backside help, and that is a tough ask for a post player to try and front McGowan and keep that ball out of there.
Oh, definitely, and I think she was really poised in the sense that she felt she had that one defender. She kind of just paused a little bit, and the defender went right by her.
Well, 7-4, a couple of early buckets for Savannah McGowan. Dengerud cut off. Spivacek will keep it moving. And we've got a foul away from the ball, it looks like on Fisher. And it'll be her first, and the second team foul against the Falcons. So 24, Fisher picking it up. We had a chance to visit with her dad, Derek. Both of us have known him for many years, and catching us up on all of his daughters.
Yeah, he has some very talented young ladies in his family. Athletically, artistically, just a good group of young ladies.
Deflected away there. It's out off Armstrong, so it will be Eagles ball. They lead 7-4. Herzig inbounding on the baseline. Quick stop and pop, but it is way short there as Abby Lord just into the game, took that shot but couldn't get it to go. They will get another crack at it though, as they say, out off of Armstrong. Also in for Grace, Kayla Terhar, number 13.
Nice shot.
And Dengerud knocks down her second bucket of the game. So a 9-4 advantage here for Grace. Parsons giving it to Dilly Starks, a real nice spin move, but then had a block as the help defense got there. I like the way she just spun and attacked, but also good alert help side D.
Looks like she kind of came out of there limping, like she rolled it a little bit, but she's looking fine right now.
And blocked again by Herzig, but this time it'll be a foul. And so Dilly Starks will head to the free throw line. So Herzig blocked the previous one. This time got ball up high, but with the body down low, it looks like.
That's Hannah's first personal.
Yeah.
Team's second foul of the
Bumped
half.
hips pretty good there. And Dilly Starks will head to the free throw line.
Point.
And able to hit that one.
Shooting for the Falcons, Melena Dilly Starks.
From the line this year, about a 56% free thrower. Averaging just under 11 per game for the Falcons, and true to her average, gets 1 out of 2. So 9-5. Here's Herzig all the way. Left-hand layup is good. They never really stepped up to stop the ball.
No, she actually was able to. She started going. She hesitated a second, and they just let her go.
McGowan had it knocked loose. And good strength by Spivacek to get to that one. Then drops it back off for Herzig. Too long with that, but Dengerud runs it down. They go into Herzig, and then her pass was deflected. They'll get it again, though, and Lord scores. Abby Lord rolling to the hoop. Wasn't necessarily a perfect possession, and the ball was deflected away a couple times, but they stuck with it.
Well, one of the things, too, we're talking about McGowan getting those inside boards. the boards are a little farther out. It seems that Totino's seeming to control a little better.
Another block by Herzig, and that leads to a layup for Dengerud. Her third bucket, second block by Herzig, and it's 15-5 Grace. And a timeout needed here by Armstrong. Couple of opportunities they've had, and then Herzig's been there. And here's another block for her. A great job of getting right on the right hand, and then a great throw ahead. Dengerud did a nice job staying composed, grabbing that one and laying it in.
Yeah, and that's following right to the game plan that Coach Dengerud wanted to have happen and talked about. She goes, our team's going to play the full court up and down, and if you're going to have to beat us, you're going to have to beat us full court. And the tempo is to their advantage right now. It's fitting into her game plan. Not that Antoine was afraid of that or anything. He knew that was what they do, but it seems to be Tino's edge right now as far as the tempo and the pace of the game.
Yeah, and if you can work in some layups like that here and there, I mean, obviously your scoring efficiency is going to go up if you're able to get a few easy ones along the way.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what they do, Armstrong right now too, because they've had some shots blocked, not just by McGowan. So what are we going to do differently? And there they did. They penetrated and were able to score.
Carly Fisher getting the layup there for the Falcons. And it rolled away. Grace a little lucky that was it then hit Dilly Stark's foot.
Kind of surprised there wasn't even a kicked ball in there.
So baseline inbounds play here for Totino-Grace. They are leading at 15-7. Lord looking for Herzig, but she was fouled.
Falcons foul number 14, Jenna Hammond. That's Jenna's first personal. Team's third foul of the half.
So third foul against the Falcons overall here. Dengerud giving it back to Herzig and then back to Dengerud. Pretty well defended though. And it's going to be a travel call as Lord shuffled her foot a little bit there. Fisher into the front court. Billy Stark slashing free. And a jumper no good by Hammond, but then here's a rebound. McGowan missed it, but he'll get it back herself. Steps through, scores, and a foul. It actually ends up working out better that she missed that first one, because then gets fouled on the second one. And this could be on Herzig, and that'll be her second. So that's pretty big.
Well, just even watching her patience on this right now, I mean, she got it. They both converged, but she split them both. She get her move, and she stepped right through and was able to finish that and draw the foul. So that's the one thing that's going to be interesting to see how this progresses along.
So not great news for the Eagles. The second foul on Herzig. And McGowan now has 7 of the 10 points for Armstrong. I see Emily Fisher coming in now as well.
We're going to apply a little more full court pressure now.
Dengerud spin move there, was fouled on the way up. Those are the kind you hate to see when you're the coach of the team on D there, because it wasn't going to be all that easy of a shot. You just want to contest that one. Instead, they foul her. Bondo will pick up the foul.
And that's where you talk with your kids, your position, get there. I mean, there wasn't a good shot, don't help them out.
Free throw missing there for Dengerud. Second one is good, so Grace leading now by 6. Dengerud averaging 18.6. That time they tried to go over the top to McGowan again, but there was plenty of help side D, and there was a lot of traffic. They're kind of fortunate to keep this ball.
It's almost as the ball's going into her, they've got one on her, one helping, and a third one flying right at her to help out.
McGowan inbounding here. And Dangerud almost had the steal. Armstrong was a little slow to get into that inbound play there, and I think McGowan was feeling the pressure of the 5 count. Felt like she needed to just throw that one somewhere. Carly Fisher over to her sister Emily at the top, a freshman. Carly thought about it, but defense got out there. Now Fondo. Little pick and roll. McGowan step back jumper in and out. Fisher had the rebound and missed. Then we get a tie up as Emily Fisher jumped in to tie up, and Armstrong will get possession.
The perimeter defense, the defense that Totino-Grace young ladies are playing on the perimeter is making it hard for Armstrong to get a look like that they want. Best shot so far has been getting it into McGowan.
Knocked away briefly from Carly Fisher, but she got it back. Here's Carly Fisher looking to spin and go, and a nice move there.
Carly Fisher.
That is her second hoop.
Nice little post move out of her. And she came down, faked it inside, came around and used the backboard perfectly.
And for having not really started that well, Armstrong, I think, have to be feeling fairly good to be down 16-12 right now. They're very much back in this one fully. And Dangerud a miss there. Carly Fisher, drop it off to Dilly Starks. And they'll look to get into their offense. So Falcons coming around a little bit here and has picked it up at the defensive end, I think, too. Looking to McGowan here, and she was fouled. Coming over to help there. Regal is much smaller, but she ends up getting in the way and is called for the foul there.
Eagles foul number 14, Ava Regal. Ava's second personal. Team's fourth.
I think she comes to her shoulders. You know, I think back, you look at that timeout that Antoine had called earlier in the game, and it was just perfect timing because we've seen what his kids have done since. They just needed to calm down, settle down, and now they're coming back in and they're getting into their flow of the game.
McGowan, pretty good free thrower at 73%, and obviously, you know, you like when you have a player that gets to the line a lot to be able to cash in and, you know, kind of make the defenses think twice about just fouling her if she gets the ball in close.
Exactly.
So 16-13 as she gets 1 out of 2. Herzig is back in there and she'll shoot it up. No good. Rebound McGowan. However, we're going to have a foul on McGowan, it looks like. McGowan looking not too pleased about it. That'll be her second, I believe. No, looks like they've got 1 on the board. No, it is her second. Yep. Let's watch McGowan. A little nudge in the back right there. It wasn't a lot, but did kind of give her that little nudge just as Schlafer was going to jump.
Had that arm bar up in the middle of her back. And
knocked away. It'll stay Armstrong ball here. So 16-13 Grace. 7:10 to go here in this first half. Herzig came back in with those 2 fouls. McGowan was just pulled out for Armstrong after picking up her second. So we'll see. I don't think necessarily that you stay till halftime when you've got 2.
yeah, I think coach is gonna depend on what are we doing. Are we still playing okay? We're keeping it close. If we're keeping it close, I might, keep her out till then. If things start to go a little too far the one way, then I might try and put her back in, and hopefully she wouldn't pick up the third then.
Dilly starts with the drive, but couldn't quite get it to drop, and rebound grabbed by Chloe Noose. And be a blocking foul here, and Herzig will head to the free throw line. And call goes against Parsons, number 20. And just kind of at their feet, and their feet got tangled a little bit after that too. So Herzig to the free throw line. She now has 5. And Fondo will come back into the Armstrong lineup. So Grace is, for a little while they were scoring at a decent pace, but then they've really slowed down. And sometimes you have to get to the line and get things going again a little bit. So they lead it by 5.
Totino brought a little trap in on there, but Armstrong was able to handle it just fine.
Parsons too hard with the first one, then the second one was partially blocked. Tried to go into Herzig, jabbed away there. Then she gets it back to Schlafer with the reverse layup. Nice work there for Caroline Schlafer. And she has 5 points. The lead is 7. There's a steal by Herzig and the layup. And exactly what Armstrong was worried about when the game was going to start. Well, this time they break the pressure, though. Carly Fisher over to Dilly Starks, and a nice move on the baseline.
Yeah, the last couple times they've trapped Carly down there in the corner, and this last time she took better advantage. She split and stepped through. She hadn't used her dribble yet, and that was a smart move. You got to step through, and that's how she was able to get through it with that, because that trap was so tight in the corner.
And Coach Easley did say, he said, if they're going to pressure us, we got to, if it's there, we need to make them pay for that. And that time they were able to do it after turning it over and giving up a layup at the other end. Dengerud pops here. Off the backboard, no good, or back of the rim, no good, and oops.
That one got away from her.
Yeah, Emily Fisher trying to throw it up court. It just slipped out of her hand. And then the Eagles, though, return the favor as that pass gets away. So McGowan's rest was relatively brief after picking up that second foul, and she is back into the Falcons lineup here.
Well, and I'm sure coaches had a good talk with her and just said, okay, you got to be smarter out here. Don't go over, don't push, just play good, solid D. Don't quit playing. You got to keep playing D, but make a few smarter decisions.
Fondo barely able to get that one back. Now McGowan. Carly Fisher looking to the bench. Coach Easley calling out their set. Fondo traveled as she was lobbing that one in. The pass got to her before she had really gotten her feet set, and I think she tried to, get herself pivoted and make that pass, but hadn't really come to a jump stop. Kind of a tight call, but I think probably the correct one.
Yeah, and I do think sometimes that's where kids get stuck. It's like trying to get it caught up so they don't get the travel, and that's tough to prevent when you've caught the ball that late.
Herzig into the lane. Dilly Starks knocked it away, and McGowan picks it up. So Armstrong down 7 here as they hit the front court. They've gotten to within 3 not too long ago, then a couple of buckets for Grace. Carly Fisher attacking. A little up and under, missed it though, and Herzig rebounds. Dengerud will bring it back out to Herzig. Driving that ball, and we'll get a foul call there against Armstrong. I believe it's Carly Fisher will get it. And this will be bonus time here for Totino-Grace. It is the second on Carly Fisher. She was up playing D hard, and then it was another one of those just kind of, excuse me, I don't know. I'm not so sure that's a foul there, really, but Herzig's free throw is good.
I think what Herzig did as she was going, she actually made a tighter cut in towards the basket, and they kind of a little bit of contact there. And
second one good. Yeah, admittedly, when a dribbler goes down, more often than not, if there's any contact, it's probably going to be called a foul there. But I guess I feel for Carly Fisher there, trying to play D there.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And you and I've watched some games where a lot of contact's been let go, and other games where it's different. So it's just trying to see which way it's going to go.
Great feed into McGowan. There was a lot of traffic, but she put that hand up to a good target, and they hit it precisely. Here's Dengerud open for 3, and she will bury it. So Leah Dengerud averaging, as we said, just under 19 a game, and buries that one. It's 27-17 Grace.
Armstrong needs a few other kids to step up and score.
Long one for Fondo, and that one hits glass only.
Because they're going to have McGowan. If they can keep posting her up, that's great, but you also need some other people to step up and be able to score.
Oh, beautiful hoop there by Herzig as she got up and under on the D. So the lead is 12. Grace able to put points up in a hurry, and for most of this half it's been a very close half, but they're trying to extend this lead. Fisher had it blocked, and the tie-up alternating possession will be Totino-Grace ball.
You know, when they pull McGowan out, they're usually looking for Carly in there to do some type of post move. It looks like they're running that play, and she has the skill and the ability to do it. She was double teamed on that one, so it made it a little tougher.
So 2.5 to go in the first half. Grace now up by a dozen. Lord at the high post. Now Spivacek cutting into the middle. And that one is off target wide to the left from Noose. And then we get a foul on Grace on the way back up court. As they will
Eagles
get
foul number 13, Kayla Terhar. That's Kayla's first personal. Team's 5th foul.
Not yet in the bonus, so sorry, Patty.
No, that's okay. I was going to say, I've seen a lot of this year, you know, and sometimes it's your younger players coming in off the bench. They get that defensive rebound, and they turn and go, but they don't clear it out. They're going right through the middle of it.
Carly Fisher over to Fondo. Dilly Starks. Carly Fisher open for 3, and she buries it. 7 now for Fisher. That was a big hoop for Armstrong. 29-20.
Good close-off defense there by Armstrong. Tried to their 2-3 is working a little better, changing it up a little bit and making Totino work a little harder to get the shots they want.
Dengerud letting it fly from the left side, no good. And Fondo able to grab that rebound. So we talked about Grace trying to pull away a little bit at halftime. Now Armstrong saying, let's answer that. And they've got it under 10, and they'd like to even close the gap a bit more. Fondo back to Dilly Starks. Now they lob inside for McGowan. Turns and scores. Great feed again by Carly Fisher. And McGowan is kind of unstoppable when they can get it to her at that close range.
They did a great job that time of moving the ball on the other side, moving it around, and then it came, and as the adjustment, then she was open for an excellent feed. And then you're right, it was a beautiful pass.
Miss inside there by News. It sure looked like McGowan got a pretty good piece of her there, but I don't know. I think they didn't maybe want to give that third foul to one of the better players in the game. And we'll get a travel call there after the near miss opportunity for Lord.
She got that rebound, the offensive board, and she kind of tried to go back up and changed her mind, and then she got called for that travel.
Coach Easley here, smart move, takes McGowan out with those 2 fouls to make sure she gets into halftime with just 2.
Did the same thing with Fisher. That's a great decision, I think, too, because, you know, go down, control it right now, get the best shot. You don't have to rush anything, and their defense has been working down there, so save those guys. You don't want to get a third foul with under 20 seconds left in a half.
Parsons giving it to Emily Fisher. Falcons look like they'll try for the last shot here. They've whittled the lead to 7. They were down 12 not too long ago. See if they know the time, though. Fondo down the baseline, and they're not going to get a shot attempt up. But still not bad closing the half for Armstrong as they pulled it within 7. Our halftime score is Grace 29 and Armstrong 22. Take a break, come back with first half highlights and more here. Girls basketball from the Northwest Suburban Conference here on CCX.
This is CJ, CEO of CJ's Produce. I'm the muscle, she's the brains.
It works. My great-grandfather acquired Brantley Estates in the early 1950s. Mama Tia is my grandmother. She was actually the first in the family to get vaccinated. I was afraid. I came up with every excuse. My grandmother got her shot. I saw how strong she was. Why can't I? CJ needs his father to show him how to become a man. So I am fully vaccinated. I have somebody counting on me, so we made the leap.
Welcome back here to Armstrong. Totino-Grace leading Armstrong 29-22 in Northwest Suburban girls basketball on CCX Sports. And let's check out some highlights from this opening half of play. It was kind of a slow start, a little bit sloppy in the very early going, but Schlafer getting an open look and knocking down a three there for Grace, and Dengerud able to do the same for the Eagles right there. Herzig, not unexpectedly, has had a solid first half for them, even with a couple of fouls. We got that layup there, and then this one was very nice. Drives all the way, finishing with the left hand. And Herzig, this one might have been the best of all. A little up and under scoop for Herzig. And here's McGowan going to work on the offensive glass. And got good post moves, obviously good size. I mean, she's tough to stop when they can get it to her that low, as we talked about. And Fisher, I got to give Carly Fisher credit. She's really threaded the needle on a few that weren't that easy to get in there. And then she also does it herself there with this strong drive. And this time, Carly Fisher calmly nailing a three for the Falcons as they battled back from briefly trailing by 12. So our halftime score is 29-22 Eagles. We'll come back with more coverage here of girls basketball on CCX.
My father instilled in me the commitment to hard work. He came to this country from Michoacan as a farm worker. My mother and my father had COVID early on. In order to stay safe and be around our players and my family, I took the vaccine. An hour after I got a workout in, I may not be anybody in this world, but when people have an interaction with me, I provide my best. Maya is 5 years old. We coach her. Others are important. Believe in health, in loving other people. That's what we do.
Can I get the now bar, please?
$1.
Have a good one.
Got it.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
Let me get a now bar.
Sure. $1.
Appreciate you.
You got it.
Cute young fan enjoying some concession stand dinner there. Welcome back to Armstrong. Along with Patty Sorensen, I'm Jay Wilcox. As Totino-Grace leading Armstrong 29-22 as we get set for the beginning of half number 2. And you see for Grace the expected duo at the top there. Their 1,000-point scorers, Herzig and Dengerud, leading the way with 22 of their 29 points. Schlafer has a couple of buckets, and then no surprise to see McGowan and Fisher as well. And Billy Starks has 3 points for the Falcons, although they'd like, obviously you're happy that those girls are up at the top, but they'd like to, get a little more balance. Only 3 people scoring the ball in a half. You'd like to see a little bit more of that, I would think, if you're Coach Easley.
Oh, definitely. The more you can get your other players involved, the easier it's going to be for McGowan when she goes inside, even though sometimes it's looked pretty easy once they get it there. But yeah, you need more of your girls to step up and find their touch.
It'll be Armstrong ball to begin this second half. And again, they briefly trailed by 12. They closed the half on a 5-0 run, though. And we'll see if they can kind of carry that momentum here into the second half a little bit, or if Grace is able to open things up a little bit again. Fondo giving it to Dilly Starks. Whip it across court. Carly Fisher, quick first step off the glass and good. That was a nice move.
And that's what they're going to need more of to get where they want to be, to get more people involved. They need to start attacking the bucket a little more too.
And that one knocked away by Dilly Starks. Herzig was starting to cut, when Dengerud threw her the ball, and that allowed the defender to get a piece of it, and you ultimately get the steal. So Armstrong to within 5, and then they force a turnover. Here's Carly Fisher. Parsons will shoot it up. That one is not close. Herzig grabs it. To Dengerud. Shot fake, and then right back to Herzig. Nice exchange there. They don't get the shot to go, but still a nice play. Now Herzig will shoot it again from the top of the key. No good, and an over the back call here against Schlafer.
And that time you notice Armstrong did a much better job. All of them were blocking out down there on that missed shot, and they were to get the board there.
Team's first foul of the half.
So Armstrong with a little momentum here as we get into the second half. They're within 5 and now within 3. McGowan scoring with the right hand or offhand there. And it's 29-26.
And there's what we talked about with the other girls getting involved. That's making that pass a little easier and her more wide open in the middle for a shot.
Timeout taken here by Totino-Grace. 16:30 to go. And some things that Coach Dengerud not liking the way that they've done things defensively a little bit here and kind of go over things quick. And I know as coaches, you want to kind of nip it in the bud when you see things that need to change, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to use a timeout early like that.
Well, she had a more comfortable lead, and they've been giving it up, and they haven't got some shots off. So yeah, you gotta call that timeout. Hasn't used any really. Call the timeout, regroup the kids, refocus, and sometimes just that little bit is enough to shake it off for that team to get back into their flow. Also, doesn't hurt. Maybe that disrupts the pattern for the other team as they're starting to move too.
Dengerud inbounding here to Herzig. Schlafer coming out to meet it. And McGowan got a piece of that. We have a foul away from the ball. Looks like against Dengerud, I think. Yep. Yeah. It's going to be an illegal screen call against Leah Dengerud. That's her first. There you can see it right there. Oh, that's a good look at it there. Nice work by the crew, kind of following Herzig and Dengerud jumping out in the way. That's great. Great shot there. Nice work in the truck and on the camera there. And Dilly Starks almost had that one get away entirely. So a chance to tie with a 3-pointer or pull within 1 with a 2 here for the Falcons when for a little bit late in that first half it was starting to look like they might fall behind by a bigger margin. Fisher drives. Now they'll swing it around. Fondo open from the top, but can't get it to go. And there, though, is McGowan up for the rebound. That one in and out. Fisher, though, gets it back and scores it.
Carly's doing a great job of coming in on that weak side, and she's picking up the weak side rebound and then continuing to make a beautiful move up to the basket for them to capitalize.
She has a couple early buckets in the second half, 11 points total here. Schlafer made a 3 from the corner in the first half and knocks this one down to get a little bit of momentum back for Grace. They're up now by 4 as they'd had a very slow start to the half. That was their first basket. Into McGowan. This time Herzig got a piece of it. McGowan, though, gets it back and just kind of knocks the defender out of the way a little bit, legally so, though. Just a nice pivot move and scores. So 32-30, Grace by 2. Schlafer will shoot it up and nails another 3.
So Armstrong's going to have to figure out because they're giving her too much time right now, and she's smart. I'm wide open. I'm going to take it, and obviously she can make that shot.
Grace lead now at 5. Fondo across to Parsons behind a screen. She'll shoot that one. It's short. There's McGowan. Another rebound, though. And Herzig getting out in the passing lane, tipped that one. Herzig's going to play Minnesota State Mankato, and you can see just kind of that long, athletic type of player. You could really see her fitting into college basketball, I think, Patty.
Yeah, it's fun to watch because, she's a guard, but she's got that lankiness and I always like to call it the wingspan, and that can be very disruptive. And when you use those skills, a lot of good things can happen for you.
And Herzig playing D there and forced a turnover as it went off the foot of Parsons. And so Grace will get the basketball back here, leading it by 5. They've had the lead most of the way here, and the lead briefly got into double figures in the first half before Armstrong really battled back nicely to start this second half and even at the end of the first.
Well, I think, too, when Armstrong ended that first half in some 2-3 zone, which caused some disruption, and now they're back to their man, but I think they're just feeling more confident themselves as the game has progressed here.
Schlafer, that time a shot fake, went inside. Dangerud was fouled. That's going to be number 3 on McGowan. Picked up those 2 in the first half, managed to avoid the third, but this time will be whistled for the foul.
Savannah's 3rd personal. Armstrong's 2nd foul of the half. At the line shooting.
You know, that's hard when you're the post, you're in there working, and you're always, bodies are always banging, but it's like you got 3 now you got to really pay attention as to how you're doing that and how you're trying to block shots.
Dangerud's free throw is good. The net at this end has some issues. That ball.
Yeah, her first free throw went through and straight out towards the back wall.
Yeah, there's at least one loop that I think has come off or is torn or something, but I guess they feel it's still legitimately there enough to keep playing with it that way. Nice drive by Dilly Starks, and she's able to get it to go. And a timeout taken by Armstrong, so they're back to within 5 after that drive.
And if they can keep more of that, excuse me, of Dilly Starks coming in there, of Carly shooting, that's just going to help their whole program.
Nice job avoiding. They were trying to draw a charge there, but she just kind of slowed herself down there and able to easily avoid the charge. So Coach Easley drawing some things up here for his team. They're very much in this game. Again, the first game between the two ended up being, fairly lopsided in Grace's favor. But both teams, as we said, it ended up 72-48, but Armstrong had been in quarantine, so they didn't really get much of any practice time and were kind of thrown back in. And then meanwhile for Grace, they had lost some players to COVID, so they didn't have their full strength lineup either. And, so I think it's good for both teams to kind of see that, okay, how have we progressed from that point on? That wasn't all that long ago, but it was, still a situation where things have changed, I think, for both of these teams for sure. That was that meeting was the 11th of January, so just about a month.
Right. Well, and like you said, they were starting to lose their players to it. They'd all been practicing. You get Armstrong coming off of it. They've all been sick, and now they're in a game. There's not much practice in there. Just getting the body healthy and getting your game legs back takes a little bit.
Herzig with it up high. Now handing off to Dengerud. Whips it down low to Schlafer. And then that shot won't drop. It was kind of rushed up there by Noose. Saw McGowan coming, I think, a little bit.
When you're looking at both teams' rosters, Armstrong has one senior on their team. They have the majority of their team coming back, and that's one difference that they have as far as looking ahead to the future too. These girls are just keeping progressing, and then you got them all back next year mostly.
Dilly Starks driving to score. Falcons back to within 3. Back across. Dengerud will shoot it up, and that one's in and out. Fisher trying to split the double team but couldn't do it, and Herzig will wind up with a layup off the feed from Noose.
That's interesting. Now, Totino had pressed on that first one. They got the turnover, they scored, and then they went back and they didn't press the next possession.
5-point lead here for Grace, 37-32. Oh, wait a minute. They're changing the scoreboard left and right up there. Baseline shot off the side of the glass. Second opportunity will be good for Fisher.
I love when you see kids keep focused on the shot. Okay, she missed it, but she didn't lose sight. She followed up, she got her own rebound, and then was able to score.
So yeah, 39-36 now the correct scoreboard. There was a brief lapse where they put the basket up for the wrong team, and then it was spinning quick. Down low it goes. McGowan with the turnaround, this time in and out.
You know, on that time, Fisher had an option for that shot, but she saw McGowan, thought it would be and a great move, another good pass.
Brought back out by Dengerud here. Eagles getting a test on the road here for sure from Armstrong. Dengerud kicks it over. Spivacek open, and that's her first bucket. So 41-36, Eagles here, 10.5 to go, second half of basketball here on CCX. Armstrong fans, will have your team on again Monday against Osseo as well. There's McGowan with the layup, her third bucket of the half. She has 18 total. Schlafer swings it across. Spivacek shooting it up, no good. There's McGowan to the board. Carly Fisher driving. Whoops, got that one a little bit high. Saw Parsons spotting up toward the corner, but just a little off target. That's kind of a long pass to get across there. But not a bad idea, though.
Right, it was a good idea, just that pass got away from her.
Avery Purifoy, number 22, checking in for Armstrong. McGowan will get a little bit of a breather here. 41-38. Falcons within 3. They trailed by 7 at halftime. Drive and dish inside. Lord, though, not able to finish it, but she got it back and then was fouled. Lord, instead of being disappointed for missing a short one, or maybe she was disappointed, but she stayed with it, and Dilly Starks will end up picking up the foul.
That's Helena's first personal. Team's second foul of the half.
That ball was bouncing around a little bit in there, and everybody was going at it.
Lord will turn and shoot. That one was way off. And then we'll get a foul in the backcourt on, see if it'll be on Herzig. Might be. Yes, it is. It's her third. So McGowan and Herzig each have 3. Now, granted, we're a ways into the second half. It's not quite panic time, but something to keep an eye on anyway.
Exactly. Well, and what we had down here again is Armstrong got that rebound. They kind of collapsed, but in the hurry of wanting to transition, sometimes I try to get kids to realize you want to play not rushed, fast or quick is how you want to play, and sometimes you try to clear out too quick and you're covered.
Fisher attacking there, and she'll go to the line.
Eagles foul number 3, Leah Dengerud.
Dengerud will pick up her second, so Carly Fisher heading to the free throw line here for Armstrong. But a 65% free throw shooter, and misfires on that one.
At the line shooting for the Falcons, Carly Fisher.
Fisher has 13 points. Looking to add to it with this free throw. And does get 1 out of 2, so 41-39. McGowan checking back in after a brief rest there.
I think they're trying to give some legs a quick rest, and then you'll see some of these people back in for probably the haul.
Herzig trying to sneak one through, but a lot of traffic, and the Falcons get the steal. Chance to tie or go ahead with a 3 here for Armstrong. Oh, not that way though. Herzig up with the steal, and she'll go all the way for the layup. So Herzig turned it over and then kind of makes up for it by getting that steal.
Well, and she is, Coach said, she's one heck of a defender, and they rely on her as one of her top defenders. And she's had a few steals like that tonight. She's done a good job of anticipating, getting in the passing lane.
Tried to go inside to McGowan, but it was deflected, and now Herzig up with it. Herzig avoided the charge, but then an off-balance shot there, and then we'll get a blocking foul as Noose didn't quite seal off the sideline, trying to cut off the dribbler there, Fisher.
Back in for the Falcons. Fisher.
Another look here as Noose getting over and didn't. You see she was that look of surprise on her face.
Everybody's always surprised when they get a foul called, even though they've done it. It's like, really?
Falcons trailing by 4. Carly Fisher. Purifoy driving into the middle, but it wouldn't drop. Herzig a nice rebound. Herzig pushing it back the other way. Stops, pops, and hits. Wow. Doing it all there. Rebound at one end and then leading the break herself. And we'll get another kind of excuse me foul there against Totino-Grace. Noose will pick it up.
Back in for the Eagles. Spivacek.
See this nice job pushing it here. And Herzig, at first you're kind of thinking, well, there's not a clear advantage, but then they never really made her stop her drive.
And she does a nice job of deciding if she's going all the way to the hoop or if she's going to pull it up with a little jumper.
Oh, nice move by Dilly Starks, but just couldn't finish. Herzig again leading the break. Spivacek will kick it back out. Herzig. Oops, that one an air ball.
Well, she's done a lot of work in there, though, so maybe she's entitled to that one, right? I mean, she's getting the steal, she's getting the rebound, she's pushing, taking jump shot, taking it to the hole.
That's a good lesson for players, too, that even the best ones on the team sometimes can have a miss like that. And that one is a turnover, an unforced one. Fisher throwing for Dilly Starks and Armstrong. Those are the kind they can't really afford if they're going to, battle back and catch the Eagles.
Yeah, and it's like, it's just calm down a little bit again. Give your good pass fake, head fake, give a good pass. Try not to telegraph it, give your look away.
Schlafer at the high post. Now across to Herzig. No good there for Rigo. And it will be Armstrong basketball here. 6:51 to go here in the second half. Carly Fisher has had a strong game here tonight for Armstrong with 14. From the top, Fondo will hit that three.
It was almost like a little twinkle toe finish up there. She really, but she felt it that time, and she had a good open look and was able to capitalize on it.
So 45-42, Armstrong back to within 3 as Fondo, long distance 3. D a little slow to get out there, and she is able to hit it.
Gives us opportunity to do a good timeout check. Falcons have 3 timeouts remaining.
Armstrong has done a nice job battling back into this one, and obviously a win that they would love to get here. They've had some struggles of late as they've won 2 and lost their 5 of their last 7 for Armstrong. So 2 and 5 in that. Haven't won since they beat Spring Lake Park at Spring Lake Park on the 27th of January.
It's going to be interesting to see what kind of pressure both teams bring back on the floor right now. Are we going to go some full court? How are they going to maybe make some adjustments on defense? I know when Armstrong went to that 2-3 at the end of the first half, that helped him a bit. And I think the one thing Coach Easley's probably talking to the girls about too is some of those passes. All right, let's give your good pass fake. Let's make a good pass. Don't rush it. Don't try and force it, and don't try and make it happen too fast.
A little 3/4 court trap here for Armstrong. Jabbed away by Dilly Starks. It'll be out off her though, and Grace will get the ball back, but kind of showing they need to be careful with the ball themselves too.
Mm-hmm.
Herzig coming edge of the lane, and now Dengerud goes back to Herzig. She'll shoot the three and hit.
You can't leave her open with any space. You got to have a hand in her face all the time. Otherwise, she's going to capitalize on it.
Same little exchange they did a few minutes ago. It didn't. They missed a shot the previous time, but that time Herzig buries it. So she has 21 now for Grace.
She has such a nice touch, and just it's fun to watch her shoot. It's fun to watch her play all parts of her game.
There is McGowan burying the three for Armstrong. So they're right back to within 3.
That makes that person have to respect her on defense a whole lot more. You can't say, okay, she's a post, so I'm going to leave her up there. Well, do that, and she's going to show you she can make the three.
Herzig over here, Schlafer. She's made a couple threes and making another one there. Schlafer has now 4 threes total in the game, 3 of them here in this half.
The 2 posts are going off against each other there in the 3-point game.
Fisher picked up her dribble out high. Going to be an offensive foul as she made that pass, ended up hitting Ivacek in the nose, it looks like.
Fisher. That's Carly's 3rd personal. Team's 3rd foul.
Be her 3rd. And you see this one hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Back into the Eagles.
Not intentional at all, just trying to get the pass off, and defense was up close, and looks like she kind of got her with the elbow a little bit.
Timeout taken here by Totino-Grace. So Eagles leading it by 6. It turned into a pretty entertaining ball game. And, I thought both teams, as we talked about at the time, kind of started slow. Like it was like, it's a Wednesday game here. We don't, but it's really become an interesting game here, and teams making some shots. They've been trading threes back and forth here of late too, and Armstrong right now down 6, but I mean they have fought back hard, and it hasn't been just one thing that's gotten them back. They've kind of picked things up all around.
Well, and that's it. And there's different people stepping up now too. You've had some good drives by some of the other players on the team, and it's going to be the adjustment now. Is he going to come out and press again? I mean, that caused a little bit of disruption. Is he going to come back, go to a 2-3? And if you're Totino right now, you're saying this is what we could do. You just keep moving the ball, keep our pressure up, and push your tempo a little more, because they're good when they push their tempo.
The Eagles basketball out of the timeout with that 6-point lead for Mary Dengerud's team.
If I'm right, I believe Armstrong plays again tomorrow night too.
Good rotation here for the Eagles. Keep that ball moving and see if they can't get Armstrong stretched out a little bit. Dengerud gets it back. Looking to work a little clock here as well, maybe. Dengerud driving it to the middle, and then the pass stolen. Nice job dropping back down. So often that you don't ever see that defender coming on that pass along the baseline. Carly Fisher drive, but couldn't get it to go. Herzig the rebound. And Herzig will pull it back out. Dengerud thought about it there. Kind of interesting because the lead's not quite big enough and it's not quite late enough to just hold the ball, but at the same time they do want to have some possessions where they're working the ball around and maybe using 30, 40 seconds at a time.
Well, and that's what I'd be saying right now, and I'm sure that's what Coach said. We're going to work. We have plenty of shots, but we're making sure we get our best shot. We've got this lead. We're not going to stall it right now, but let's make sure we get our high percentage shot off.
And in particular, if Armstrong is going to lay back and not really get out and challenge somebody handling the ball way out high, too. I mean, there's, you don't help them out by working it into the middle of their pressure. Herzig coming back out high. Kind of working their delay game here for sure.
Yeah, they're content to keep doing this. Oop. Yeah.
Now they turned it over though, and really an unforced turnover too.
Which is too bad because their delay part, their stall delay, whatever they want to call it, was actually working well for them, and they needed to pull Armstrong out. Okay, if you're not going to come out and get us, we're going to play catch up here.
Billy Starks with it here. Now 2:45 to go in the ball game. Armstrong trailing by 6. Into McGowan. She is surrounded, but goes right to the hoop and scores.
And that was an important possession right there. You got the turnover down here, an unforced one. You've got the ball at 6-point lead. Now we're within 4. Now they're going to have to decide, I'm going to go or...
Schlafer with it around to Dengerud, and that can be the problem when you've gone into your delay game. Then people are a little hesitant to really look at the basket after that. I think too. You're thinking, how am I going to get in trouble here if I shoot this ball? Or
well, and some of the girls that don't appear to even be looking like they're looking for their shot. A couple of them, but you definitely know which ones would be.
Under 2 minutes to play now. Totino-Grace leading it by 4. Got to keep in mind that 5 count too and be wary of it. Little back cut by Dengerud. Boy, the pass was low, but she did a good job staying with it. They are definitely in full clock burning mode now, but then they again turn it over. So they get it down to 1:30 to go. We're at 1:30. They're up by 4.
I always feel a little in trying to start slowing it down or controlling the ball for that much time left on the clock. Kind of a little iffy sometimes. It's a long time to have to control it.
Carly Fisher. Back out. Fondo will take that shot. It's short. And then we get a foul on the rebound. I think it's going to be on McGowan. Well, let's see. No, actually it's going to be against the Eagles. Yeah, it'll be Schlafer picking it up. It was Schlafer and McGowan tied up, and I thought by McGowan's body language that she was thinking it was going to be called on her, but instead they'll call it on Schlafer.
She was displacing her as she was going back. She kept displacing her back. Well, and here's the difference right now. You've got Armstrong in the 1-and-1, but Armstrong only has 3 team fouls right now. So if they're going to need to get the ball, they're going to have to commit some fouls if it gets to that situation.
And there is one taken right there by McGowan. It's late enough that I guess you could say, but I don't think that's the player they necessarily wanted to have, commit a foul, but they couldn't afford to waste too much more time. We've got 1:05 left on the clock, 51-47 game.
See, and they were going to put her at the free throw line, and then they looked and it's like, well, no, we're not even near. Now here's where you want to go for the steal or try and get the foul before. Don't give them a lot of time right now.
Regal was fouled there.
It's kind of funny. She actually pushed her the first time and they didn't call it, and then she got her the second time and they called that one.
Avery's first personal. Team's 5th foul of the half.
And we get another quick foul there taken. So again, this, they needed to do this to get to the bonus. Still not quite 1-and-1. That was the 6th.
Well, you don't want a lot of time to click off on this. I mean, when you have fouls to give, if you can get the foul to happen while the clock's off, that's saving you time. And I don't know if that's the one, but if that's the one you have to foul to get it to stop, you follow anybody at that time.
Billy Starks will pick up the foul, so now Herzig will head to the free throw line for 1-and-1. 48 seconds remaining, and a 4-point lead here for Totino-Grace. Having their hands full with Armstrong here on the Falcons' home court, but Herzig trying to take a step toward sealing it up, at least from their sake. Makes the first one. 22 now for Hannah. And has made all 5 of her free throw attempts as well.
Well, and like you said, Armstrong is a whole different team than they played them the last time. So that's a whole different look for them. And even though both teams were dealing with it a little bit, I think the last time Armstrong had the toughest side of it.
To the corner, Fisher for three. No, McGowan grabs the rebound. Fondo will shoot it up and banks it in. Well, not sure she was intending to bank that one, but it'll count. 53-50. Falcons, 33 seconds left.
Oh, she's going to tell us. I was planning that. Backboard.
Didn't hesitate to take it, and I guess, you know, when you get to this point in the game, you can't afford to linger too much. So they got 33 seconds. They're down by 3. They get that quick timeout.
Well, now you get a good chance to set up. Okay, what are we gonna bring at them? Are we gonna trap them? What are we gonna do to make them turn the ball over, or just contain it and us be able to get the ball on a rebound? And you know, Totino, when they came down before, they didn't have that many point of a lead, and they were still just kind of comfortable to sit out there and try and stall. It'll be interesting to see if they try to go for a bucket or if they just try to wear the time off, or even just try and get a foul called. A little press set up here.
Threw it over to Schlafer and then to Herzig. A little bit of an interesting, you don't see that too often, but obviously perfectly legal.
Yeah, well, just that's who they wanted. They figured there's a foul coming in. This is who we want you to foul. I want this free throw shooter at the line. And then it worked right into Totino's hand that way.
So Herzig will go right back to the line here. Only about a second ticked off, so 32.6 remaining. Eagles by 3. And Herzig hits that free throw again. That one went right through that net. I got to be honest, I'm a little surprised at halftime the officials didn't say, hey, you got to change this.
Right.
It's shouldn't be happening in a varsity level game. So second free throw also good. 55-50 as Herzig doing the job at the line. 3 won't drop there. Tip loose. Let's see who this is out off. It's going to be out off Armstrong. So Eagles will get the ball back, leading by 5. 21 seconds left.
You know, you sometimes wonder, because it looked like Fisher had a good chance to go in and possibly score on that layup. It was still a 5-point game. You know, do you go get that 2 and then attack right away on their pressure? On your press, or you pressing them to see if you can then get another turnover possibly, or get the ball back in your hand.
Fondo will pick up the foul there. It's interesting, Herzig, again, obviously has been great at the line. And I was surprised a little bit that she threw that pass away, because there was nobody really pressuring her. But at the same time, she saw a teammate open way, you know, able to advance the ball a lot further. And Schlafer makes the free throw as well. Boy, so many times you see teams struggle at the line. Grace has been perfect at the line here down the stretch.
Well, that's one of those things. How many games have you watched where it's been a good free throw shooting or pretty decent, and then they get to the end of the game when you need it and they can't buy one?
Herzig with a great block on Fisher, but then lost it and then gets it right back though. So the Eagles are going to hang on and win this one. Herzig, I think, will dribble it out, and Totino-Grace, a hard-fought win here at Armstrong as they win it by a score of 57-50. And good entertaining game. I think fair to say both teams better than they were the first time that they played, Patty, and a pretty good basketball game here tonight.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was a great game. You saw some spurts by teams, but you saw them both come back and play really hard. And, you know, you're Armstrong, and you go much better, obviously, than the last game. And you know, that was a tough game to play, but good game played by both teams. A lot of talented people on the floor tonight.
23 for McGowan and 14 for Carly Fisher to lead the way for Armstrong. 25 for Herzig, 13 for Schlafer, and Dengerud had 12 for Totino-Grace. So hope you've enjoyed the action here. For Patty Sorensen and all of our CCX crew, MJ Wilcox, Totino-Grace beating Armstrong 57-50.